What's Crack-A-Lackin? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
Bang. Oh, welcome into another episode of My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Podcast. I am your host, Sleazebum. This is going to be a little different episode here. All my rankings, all my stardom sit-ems, all my sleepers, all my smash starts, so you guys can check that out. This is going to be 5 week 1 overreactions where I'm looking for your guys' opinions in the comments. So usually it's just me giving you the stats and stuff like that. This time I want to hear back from you guys on what you think on these 5 overreactions I'm going to give to you right here in this video. But first of all, guys, I mean, we got to look at this. Yesterday, if you missed the live stream, you can watch the recap back. These were my calls from the Thursday night football game last night with the Commanders and Packers, okay? So I had Jaden Daniels as a start. He obviously didn't hit his projection, but he still gave you 20 points against the best defense in football, the Green Bay Packers. I'm going to say they're better than the Broncos with Micah Parsons at this point, but you could argue either one. I said Jordan Love would be a smash start. I said he would throw over 2 passing TDs. He could have had 4 in that game if he would have, hit Golden on the bombs. I said Terry McLaurin was a sit. That's back-to-back check marks on sit Terry McLaurin. When are you guys going to listen about a 30-year-old man who is coming off a holdout having bad games? It's historically there. Ja'Cory Crosby-Merritt was a sit, check mark there. Josh Jacobs anytime TD, check mark there. Austin Eckler sit, check mark there. Tucker Kraft start and anytime TD for Kraft, double check mark there. Deebo Samuel start and anytime TD, double check mark there. Zach Ertz was a start. And when we talked about the Packers wide receiver room, I said you're going to have Golden, Dobbs, Wicks, and Reed. One of them is going to catch a TD. They're all scary flex plays, very risky. And what happened? Reed got a touchdown, got hurt. Dobbs got a touchdown. Golden missed a touchdown. It's going to be a separation nightmare there. But damn, what a game for your boy on calls last night. And my lock was also Deebo Samuel over 4.5 receptions as well. If you didn't catch that on stream, I'll post that in a short too. Now, before we dive into these overreaction, guys, and I want your breakdown on these calls, right? I want to hear from you guys in the comments. Make sure you smash that like and subscribe. All the support's appreciated. I can't thank you guys enough. It's been a hell of a start to the year already, and I cannot wait to see where it goes from here, man. If you guys haven't checked out the Discord, the Guys FF that I host with my brother, Big Draft Energy, make sure you guys check it out. It'll be pinned in the comments. It'll be in the description. We cover everything fantasy football you need. And then if you haven't signed up, and we drop our pick'ems in there as well. So like my pick'em lock I gave live on stream last night. I missed on the Austin Eckler over receptions. Prayers up to him with his injury. But if you haven't signed up on drafters.com, make sure you use promo code SLEAZE. It will match your initial deposit up to $100, and you can best ball draft with us pick'ems. I'll be live this afternoon doing some splash DFS drafts there as well. And we can recap the game and talk about the week as well there, guys. Now let's dive into my week 1 top 5 overreactions that I'm giving to you guys. So, week 1 overreactions are here. This is going to be the number 1 reaction I'm going to give you guys to start off heading into week 2 here. And if you guys have watched my show or been subscribers, you've gotten my formal apology because there's no one bigger on the planet Earth in fantasy football that ranked these guys higher, that drafted them more in best ball than Garrett Wilson and Justin Fields. And I said to sit them versus the Steelers because I thought the defense on paper was going to lock them up. That is never going to happen again. I apologize there. Now, if you've also watched my shows or been part of the streams, I've been saying that Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson is the best fantasy football stack to draft at value this year. I want to know your guys' thoughts. And this is, again, value-wise, you can look at it as, 3rd round, 9th round, 10th round for Garrett Wilson as it goes. So week 1, they come out against the Steelers, who, again, I thought was going to be a phenomenal defense with the 3 corners they have. They combined for 54.02 points. Wilson had 9 targets, which was number 12 in the NFL. I called 170 for him at the beginning of the season. I think his number is going to go up from here even more than 9 next game. Fields had 48 rush yards. That's what he does. 2 rushing touchdowns. He absolutely dominated fantasy football. The Jets scored 32 points. The game script, is it going to favor them to be playing in a game like that with tons of points? You're getting the Buffalo Bills next week. You just saw Josh Allen destroy the Ravens. You saw them beat them late in the 4th quarter. You're going to have to see Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson erupt again here in week 2, and there's no way on planet Earth you're sitting either one of these guys. Now, Breece Hall, I was out on all year, and I like to be transparent with the calls. That's a miss as of now, and you get the Buffalo Bills, who Derrick Henry just ran over, and Ed Oliver is going to be out of the game. Breece Hall is probably going to smash again. I'm going to eat that one to the face. Now, looking at the upside, Mason Taylor didn't see a lot of targets, but he was out there for 88% of snaps. That's what you want to see as a rookie tight end. New head coach Aaron Glenn coming from the Detroit Lions. He knows what he's doing, has this team rocking and rolling. And now you have to look at these metrics, okay? This is a week 1 small sample size, but Justin Fields, right? So yards per attempt was 10. That was number 3 in the NFL. Adjusted air yards was 10.3. That was number 3 in the NFL. He was best ball extra points added, number 2 in the NFL. He had fantasy points, number 2 in the NFL. I mean, every metric here, true passer rating, number 3. QBR, number 9. Expected points, production premium, number 7, number 4. I mean, this guy was out of control. Time to throw was 3.52 seconds because his field gives him more. That was number 1. Escape rate was 5%. That was number 7. Protection rate was number 6. The offensive line here is great. Deep ball percentage was 100%. He only fired 1 deep ball. Hit that. Obviously, it was 1 for 1. These numbers you just can't ignore. Justin Fields is playing the best football you've ever seen, and it's only 1 week sample size. But this is why I had him ranked at quarterback 6 coming into the season. And again, I apologize for saying benched last week. It bit me in the ass too. I benched him as well. Now, Garrett Wilson, 100% snap share. The only wide receiver in the NFL that played every single snap, every single formation, everything. Targets, again, was number 12. Target share, 43%, number 3. How can you ignore volume? Target rate was number 7. Snap share, again, 100%. He played in the slot for 23 snaps as well, which you like to see. Ran 25 routes. Route participation was 100%. Air yard share was number 9 in the NFL. I mean, deep target share was number 1. I mean, this guy is just unbelievable. I can't believe all the talk I got during the preseason and everything. Now, let me know if you think that this is the best stack to own in fantasy football moving forward for the rest of the season, because I do. Overreaction number 2, and this one is going to be spicy. Let me know if you think yes or no on this one. So Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are going to miss the AFC Championship game in 2025. Can you remember the last time that Patrick Mahomes has missed an AFC Championship game? I can't, because he never does. So now you have to look at what's happening here. So Xavier Worthy practicing again today. We don't know if he's going to be out there or not. Rashee Rice is gone, out 6 games with his suspension. Patrick Mahomes, if there's anybody that can overcome all this adversity, it would be this guy. I'm not doubting him in that point. Look, he still put up 28.2 fantasy points in week 1 versus a very good Charger run D. But yeah, they were behind in that whole game, so it was a pass-heavy game script. And their run game is going to probably be bad all year with Pacheco. So now you got to look at a couple things here. Travis Kelce did get his touchdown. I did have him as a sit. Obviously, he got a busted play and found the end zone. But if you watched him in the zones, if you watched him versus the linebackers, he's not even getting open. He's barely finding the zones. He looks so much slower. I mean, he's old. You got to give it to his father time. May have kicked in a little bit here. I still like him as a start this week, even though we're talking overreactions, because volume's going to be there. Now, their defense cannot stop the pass. This is the Chargers' strength, is being a good run D. You saw Justin Herbert just come out and light them up. Like, to Justin Herbert, like a top 5 quarterback. Now, when we're looking at the Chiefs here, and you're looking at Hollywood Brown, right? Hollywood Brown just led the NFL in targets at number 1. Now, I do like him as a start this week, especially if Xavier Worthy's out there, so I'm not talking about that. But do we think he's going to be the actual answer for the Chiefs in this situation? He's so hard to trust for me that I don't even, it's like, I like him as a start, but it's hard to trust. Now, here's what we have to look at with the Kansas City Chiefs. Are they going to make the AFC Championship game this year? Do you think they're better than Buffalo, or think they're better than the Ravens? Do you think they're better than the Chargers at this point, right? Those are probably the 3 top teams after week 1 in the AFC, maybe the Broncos, but they look sluggish, right? Now, they get Philly this week. What if they lose here, go 0-2? Then they get the Giants, but they get a win there at the Giants. Then they get Baltimore. Then they could be 1-3. Then they get Jacksonville. At Jacksonville could be a trap game kind of for them. Then they get Detroit. Then they get Buffalo again in week 9. Then they get Denver, Houston, Chargers, Denver. This is going to be a possible 8-9 win Chiefs game here on a cusp of a playoff game. And if they have any more injuries, it could get really, really, really sketchy here. And I don't think the Chiefs are going to make the AFC Championship game this year. And I know he makes it every single year. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Overreaction number 3. Here we go. And I said this before the season, and I got a lot of comments and people saying, no way. I said that Aaron Rodgers stays healthy. He's going to lead this Pittsburgh Steelers team to a playoff game this year. Why? Well, they also have Mike Tomlin, who could probably lead me as the quarterback to the playoff game because he's such a good head coach all the way around, which was just, instantly easy thoughts for me when it comes to Mike Tomlin, one of the best coaches in the NFL. Now, Aaron Rodgers comes out in week 1, 41 years old. There was absolutely no hype to this game. It was over-under. I thought it was going to be under. It was an absolute shootout. And this guy goes for 33.66 fantasy points, 4 passing TDs, number 1 in the NFL there. The Steelers score 34 points. Dude, the over-under for the game was like 38 or 37 and a half, if I remember. So they almost broke that by themselves, which shows you that they thought it was going to be bad as well. DK Metcalf, you saw the videos of them and Twitter or whatever you use, throwing all off season long. You saw them, before even Aaron Rodgers was signed, working out together, so you can see their connection already. Obviously, he didn't really pop in week 1, but he's going to see targets galore. Aaron Rodgers funnels the ball to his wide receiver 1 every single. I mean, dude, look at Devontae Adams. Just go look for the numbers, right? So you also got the run game that looks terrible. So, Jaylen Warren found the end zone. Dude, Kenneth Gainwell outsnapped Jaylen Warren. Caleb Johnson had a negative 1-yard carry. That was all he saw. They might be leaning on the 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers, who is the best thrower of the football I've ever seen. I know that people like to hate on him and he's weird or whatever. That's fine. I agree there as well. But this guy can make tight window throws that I've never seen any other quarterback make. Now, there's also rumors, but he's, pending investigation that's going on. And if you look at the Vegas odds right now, the Steelers are the number 1 or number 2, I believe, with the Chiefs to sign Tyreek Hill. Then give Aaron Rodgers Tyreek Hill. Look what he did with Calvin Austin's speed. Imagine what he's going to do with Tyreek Hill's speed. This could be absolutely nasty, right? Now, where I missed week 1 as well was I said that the Steelers defense would be good because they're supposed to be good. They have one of the best secondaries in football, and they got absolutely roasted. I think they're going to bounce back at home. And Justin Fields is a different nightmare to deal with when he's locked in and with his rushing ability. It just changes your defensive look. Now, let's say they don't trade for Tyreek Hill, right? Which I think they would because they're in win now when you have a 41-year-old quarterback, right? That's a given for me. I truly believe that. So if they don't trade for him, right, is the breakout really going to be Calvin Austin? So he played 80% of the snaps. He had 17 fantasy points, 6 targets, 4 receptions, 70 yards, and a touchdown. And shout out to not Underdog, I'm blanking real quick. Fantasy Pros, Andrew Erickson. He said, dude, best ball, go get Calvin Austin because Aaron Rodgers is going to light him up for deep balls all year, and you saw it right away in week 1. Now you got to look ahead here and be like, well, obviously it says about Mike Tomlin just wins. I already covered that part. But you got to look ahead at their schedule here. And you get Seattle, New England, Minnesota, right? So maybe Minnesota, tough pass D. I think Seattle was going to get crushed by him. I mean, he just crushed the Jets D. Cleveland, Cincy, Green Bay, Indy, LA Chargers, Cincy, Buffalo, and then look at the playoff schedule. Miami, Detroit. If Aaron Rodgers can make it through this season, do we think that he's going to lead them to a playoff game? And let me throw in an extra one. Do you think he's going to be a possible top 10 to 12 quarterback as well? Let me know your thoughts. Number 4, overreaction. Are we panicking on the elite wide receivers that were drafted in the first 2 rounds of fantasy football? And this leads back to beginning of the season, how we talk about how there's trends in fantasy football from the running backs going early to the wide receivers going early, and how that kind of looks in best ball when we're drafting in the offseason as well. So last year, you saw the running back shift take back over, and the top teams that won best ball, mainly running back heavy at the early, obviously hitting some dart throws late in their draft. This year, again, we're off to that start once again here. So none of these guys even dropped 20 fantasy points in the first week, and these are all guys drafted in the first 2 rounds of fantasy football. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins both combined for 9.9 points. CeeDee Lamb, I have zero worry about. 18 points for him. He had a couple drops. He could have had a 30-plus, 40-point game. He looked absolutely stellar. Amon-Ra St. Brown, who I was low on in week 1, 8.5. New head coach, terrible offensive line. All the signs were kind of there. I do think he bounces back this week. BTJ, this one is very worrisome. So, I mean, you could look at everything from the game and say it was the game script for the Carolina Panthers and they ran the ball down their throats. I get that. But still, 1 reception on 7 targets is not a good look. And they said the catchable rate was like 45%, which leads me back to last year. Trevor Lawrence and BTJ, his numbers were terrible. He got Mac Jones, his numbers doubled. So I'm going to pump the brakes here on the BTJ hype. I know it's 1 week. He has a great matchup this week against Cincy. If he doesn't explode, it's going to be really, really bad for BTJ owners. Justin Jefferson, 14.8. Not too worried about him. He was coming off a hamstring, still found the end zone, still looked good. Nico Collins, rough outing, rough matchup. Has a great matchup this week. Hope he bounces back. AJ Brown, I was low on with the Eagles all year in their passing game. They get the Chiefs, who the Chargers just absolutely obliterated. So are we going to see 1.8 points from AJ Brown again? Probably not. And he just said it wasn't a hamstring issue. I don't have an injury. You saw him kind of panic talk about it. Like it was the zones they gave me, man. How am I supposed to get open with 2 zones? So that's going to lead me right into the new defensive schemes that NFL is doing of the 2 high zones, and it's limiting the elite wide receivers. So when I'm saying, are we panicking about this with the new schemes they're having? I'm saying that, like, should we have just drafted three running backs right out the gate, bang, 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 and just play the safe floor play because of how it's looking for these wide receivers heading into the season? So it's only 1 week sample size. Obviously, you know, I'm not going to smash overreact crazy on my end for it, but I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts as well on what you think of the elite wide receivers after the week 1 performance. Last but not least, you got to save the best for last, baby. Overreaction number 5. My breakout must-target wide receiver of the year, Keon Coleman. You got to see the talent. But the question is, overreaction or not, is Keon Coleman the breakout league-winning wide receiver? And we got to look at a couple ways, because if you look at the points, obviously people are going to say yes, right? And obviously I'm hyped up because this was my guy, right? So week 1, 25.2 fantasy points, did get a deflection touchdown bounce to him as well. So you got to throw that in there as well, but it was a great catch in the process. Now you're going to look at the stat sheet. It's going to show you 11 targets, but it actually was 15 targets. He had 2 PI flags called against him, and he had 2 two-point conversion attempts where the red zone looks are going to him, and obviously those targets don't count as well. But you can see who Josh Allen's first read target is with a 25% target share. You saw it in the first quarter, you saw it in the second quarter, you saw it in the third quarter, you saw it in the fourth quarter. And the what people are going to tell me is, oh, it's a game script and you're not going to see them score 80 points to combine again. Probably not. You're not going to see him have that many pass attempts probably again. But the encouraging sign is the percentage of pass attempts either way that went to Keon Coleman. He is the first read option of this offense. That's what I've been saying all year. The big body wide receiver, the only big body they really have kind of in the red zone. You could say Kincaid, but he's kind of sharing snaps with Dawson Knox still. So now when you look at it, so the sideline catch, right? You saw this guy could have been a pro basketball player, man. Athletic ability is what you want. You saw the highlight jump reel catch on the sideline. Looks absolutely ridiculous. You saw him fly for another one over the left side where Josh Allen threw it too low for him and he couldn't catch it. I mean, I am all in on Keon Coleman. It is absolutely amazing to see week 1. The red zone beast, like we covered that. Game script dependent, we talked about. They're going to get the Jets this week, right? And most people, like me included from week 1, are going to tell you that, oh, the Jets-Steelers game was supposed to be under and it's supposed to be a grunge match. I get all of that. I mean, I was wrong there too, probably like 100% of the world thinking that game was going to score 60-plus points. I don't think anyone had that on their freaking bingo card. But now you're getting the Jets, who just battled 32-30-plus with the Steelers. Then you get Miami. Their cornerbacks were absolutely shredded. Then you get New Orleans. We know what they are. Could be a tough matchup week 5 versus Christian Gonzalez if he's back out there with the Patriots. Atlanta, Carolina, KC, Miami, Tampa. These are all weak defenses against the pass. Houston, Pitt, who was just shredded by Justin Fields, Cincy. Then you get New England, could be tough again. Cleveland could be a tough match when you get Philly and the Jets. I mean, the wheels are up for me 100% on Keon Coleman. And people are panicking because it's Keon Coleman and how the Bills run game and how they're favored in every game. I'm not buying into any of that. Now, is he a sell high for you or a hold for you? Let me know in the comments, and let me know if you think Keon Coleman is going to be the league-winning breakout wide receiver that your boy called this year. Bang! Thanks for rocking with me today, guys. That is the end of the episode. I wanted to switch it up. I wanted to give you guys a chance to give your opinions on what you think on these overreactions, something I'm going to start doing every week to get you guys involved, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts instead of just hearing me ramble on what I think every game is going to be. So it gives you guys a chance to get your opinions out there as well. Before you guys head out, guys, make sure you smash that like and subscribe. All the support's appreciated. Check out the Discord, the guys FF, pinned in the comments and in the description as well. And if you haven't signed up at drafters.com, shout out to our sponsor. Make sure you sign up using promo code SLEAZE. That is going to be it for me for the week, guys. Maybe a Saturday stream, but I will be live for the Sunday sit show before. We'll have our Monday recap as well. And man, what a Thursday night it was, guys. Sleaze Bomb out. I will catch you guys in the next one.